The seed situation is a go. This is episode 2, and I'm late as usual. I would honestly be late to my own funeral, and I know that's a pretty cliche remark to say, but it's probably the truth. I mean, I'm not late by that much, but it is what it is. Long story short, I'm your host, as usual, the Krakoon, and got an interesting-ish show this week. There's not been an abundance of news. Plus, I've kind of been out of the loop a little bit. Hence, Ghost Recon Wildlands has been in beta, so I've been messing around in that. Don't really want to talk about that because this isn't a Wildlands situation. So firstly, I'm just going to run down the quick topics right now. We're going to go through the situation report, which will be a breakdown of the past week's news as well as the upcoming week's news. Then we'll go on to my two topics, which I've got in mind, being casuals, in the sense of casual games in Rainbow Six Siege, and a general discussion about that, more or less. And then from there, we will segue onto the secondary topic, which I think is a bit more interesting, controversial as well, potentially, which is falsehoods. Obviously, it says falsehood in sidebar, the topics bar. Couldn't fit falsehoods in. S wouldn't fit, so I put falsehood. Same principle, but basically falsehoods are falsified information, more or less, or a promise of something that was false, you know, in a sense. So that's basically what that's going to be. So straightforward, you know, it is what it is. First off, the situation report. Break down the previous week's news. There wasn't a lot of news in general. What I will say was that 2.1.1.1.1, I don't know, a patch got released. I don't know why they just can't call it something else, but whatever, technical terms. 2.1.1 patch got released, which was an update for Rainbow Six Siege, and it wasn't generally a content update or anything like that, obviously, because Velvet Shell just came out. Usually they'll do this where they'll release a patch and then it'll be like fixing all the bugs and previous issues that maybe were there before Velvet Shell and they couldn't squeeze it in, or maybe the priority bugs and issues that had arisen from Velvet Shell and whatnot. I mean, it's straightforward enough. I'll break down like the two most, I guess, interesting aspects of the patch. Firstly, black and grey skins got released. I'm all in. I've been waiting for a jet black skin for my weapons for such a long time. It was such an annoyance to me. I don't know why. More of an annoyance than anything else, potentially. But, yeah, it was such an annoyance to me that you didn't have a black skin for certain weapons that, I don't know, maybe had like, say for instance the Scar, and it had like a tan camo on it or something like that. You know, it is what it is. Straightforward enough though. Black and grey skins, I think that was probably the highlight of the patch in terms of actually adding some form of content. Other than that, there was just a lot of bug fixes and stuff like that. I've been hearing rumours surrounding the cluster charge, potentially having an absurd range increase, but it's a bug or something like that, and it's been acknowledged by Ubisoft as well. So that's definitely a thing. However, I don't know how consistent it is or what you do to trigger it. But, well, having said that, it's all well and good, you know, but it couldn't have happened to a worse possible thing. What are they trying to tweak with the cluster charge, I guess, is the question. That have somehow forgot to carry a 1 or something, and then it's got an absurd range or some shit. I don't know. It's worrying to say the least. They're always doing precarious things like that, like tweaking gadgets or whatnot, and then something breaks, and then I don't know. Like, it's like, what were you doing that could have basically triggered this bug to happen? You must have been doing something with the cluster charge and put some code through to change the cluster charge in some respect. It's like, oh wait, the code broke. Cluster charge killed everybody within a 10-mile radius, whatever. I guess the other important thing, or it wasn't, well, it's not currently that important anymore, but at the time it was pretty important, and it was that the shield's explosive damage resistance was completely negated because of this patch and a bug. But as for that, it got swiftly fixed, which is, I mean, it's straightforward enough. It's probably a priority on the list. They did like a seamless update or hotfix per se, which was interesting. I mean, I wish they would do more of these seamless hotfix updates, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose, all things considered. But other than that, 2.1.1, 0.1.1.2 was successful as far as I can tell. I mean, it's just it's straightforward enough. It's all bugs and patches. There's not too much to talk about, and I probably spent more than enough time talking about it in the first place. As for the upcoming week, now this is where it could get potentially slightly more interesting. Because I was doing some research into this and whatnot, and it's kind of a bit skittish right now. But coming up next week on Tuesday, I believe, will be exactly a month since Velvet Shell got released. And after doing some research, I looked into it, and basically the last DLC being Red Crow, they released on, I can't remember what date they released on, but precisely a month directly after the Red Crow DLC was released was the mid-season reinforcements. So having said that, I started contemplating whether or not mid-season reinforcements are going to be coming next Tuesday. But considering we've not had any word about that yet, I'm still kind of up in the air. And I mean, I went back and checked some of the other DLCs, and it's approximately around a month. I believe the Bope had mid-season reinforcements a month and like a week after that or something like that. So like 5 weeks rather than 4 weeks per se. Long story short, I'm basically basing, if you can even use them two words together, I'm going on a hunch and speculative, and I'm summarizing that potentially the mid-season reinforcements could be happening next week. We've not heard any news about it. Ubisoft do this stuff all the time. They'll keep it under wraps, and then I'm guessing maybe tomorrow we'll get some news, because game developers have an affinity to Tuesdays for whatever reason. Major game releases happen on Tuesdays, updates happen on Tuesdays, Velvet Shell got released on a Tuesday, whatever. But I'm basically speculating right now that thinking that maybe, just maybe, mid-season reinforcements will be happening next week. And if it does, it's like I'm figuring out the Da Vinci Code and breaking down Ubisoft and working out when mid-season reinforcements and DLC and everything's being released, or potentially not. I might just be an idiot. Once again, it's all speculative, but who knows? That basically wraps up the situation report, all the news from last week and the upcoming week. Other than that, there's not really any more news that I could see of the upcoming week. It's kind of like a quiet time, after the DLC has been released. There's usually like a calm period. I mean, it's been a while. Like I said, if mid-season reinforcements do come next week, then there will be some news, but not heard anything as of yet. But once again, that wraps up the situation report. So, all things considered, that's basically that done. And moving on to potentially more of a controversial topic. Well, the controversial topics, I suppose you could say, that has been, the first topic has been prevalent for a long time right now. And it is casuals and casual games and the whole scenario of, I guess generally more than anything, I think it's the bad reputation that casual gets, and a majority of it, I assume, comes from ranked players. But I'm not gonna go all out and say that it's just ranked players. I guess it could just be people that just. I mean, I don't know. I'm hesitant on my words right now because it's a pretty finicky topic to really discuss, because you've got to assume, right, that casual gets a bad reputation from ranked players, right? Because it's got to be ranked. Because if it was a casual player, how are they going to be hating on casual? You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. So I'm basically going to break down all of what I perceive casual games to be, as well as the comparisons to ranked and so on and so forth. And yeah, I don't know. And just a quick backstory about this. This has been a prevalent topic within the community for a long time, about how certain certain, I don't know, I guess influences in the community, as well as just general people of the community that actually spend time on the forums or the Reddit or whatever it may be. They generally talk about casual a lot, and it usually has a bad affinity surrounding it. So I mean, it's an interesting topic, and I wasn't really gonna go into it, but I was like, you know what? I might as well put my $2 in the tip jar, kind of thing, and get to it because I am an avid casual player for a numerous amount of reasons. But it's straightforward enough. So, firstly, what I want to talk about is casual versus ranked, and the whole fickle kind of contrasting differences between them and so on and so forth, and the way that I perceive it and whatnot. And I've spoken about this many times before, but yeah, casual versus ranked. So, firstly, I'm just going to run down through some pros and cons. It's not really going to be as ordered as possible. I'm just kind of go off the cusp right now and run down things that I see. And I think the most blaring, abundant uh, contrast between ranked and casual games is that I believe personally that the competition from ranked comes from squads a lot more than it comes from individual players that are stronger at the game. And I'm not saying that, because this is a huge kind of semantic argument, but I'm not saying that people in ranked are less skilled than people in casual individually as players. All I'm saying is that I believe a lot of the competition in ranked comes from squads of players that are collectively playing together, and the tactical, communicating, the coordinated, and honestly, that's a huge factor when it comes down to ranked, and from when I've played ranked in the past. And honestly, I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's kind of a blaring difference between the two. And honestly, I mean, I think that's really kind of like a negative connotation on both sides rather than it being like a good thing, because people always say, oh, you play casual, oh, you suck, you must suck, or some shit like that. And it's like, well, why would I bother going and playing ranked and testing myself in an environment where I'm playing solo, but I can go and play against full teams and get ganked by full teams, and that means that I suck? Because I would still probably individually, not even trying to boast or be big-headed or anything like that, but I would still probably hold my own even against a team like I've done in the past in other games and whatnot. But I'd still ultimately end up losing. So it's really the perception of why is that fun, and also why do ranked players generally use that as a target against casual players in a sense. Like, oh, you play casual, you suck. I play ranked with a full team, and I never lose a game. It's like, okay, sure, that's a really valid argument. But I'm not even trying to hate. I mean, it's undeniable that ranked is a more stable environment for teams and a higher quality of skill, which is undeniable. But I don't really see that as a reason to hate on casual, I guess is the biggest point. I guess having said that, though, shorter games in casual, I believe personally, to intensify the action. I feel that the longer games in a ranked dull the action down for me personally. It's just prolonged and it's tedious, and I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it. And I guess having said that, it kind of comes down to this contrast between you earn more renown and more XP in ranked, and you earn less in casual. However, the games are longer in ranked and shorter in casual. So I could maybe get 2, 3 games, we'll say 2 on average, games of casual in, and earn probably more renown than I can if I play like a 40-minute long game of ranked. So where's the trade-off there is the biggest part. There's a severe imbalance there, and I don't know whether or not that's something to do with Ubisoft and they need to increase the renown and the XP that you earn from playing ranked, because I feel like that would be a viable option. But, it's once again, it's a sensitive topic, and there's a lot of, I guess, Mm, there's a lot of I don't know. It's a sensitive topic. I guess is the biggest point. On top of that, I guess like one of the best things though about ranked is that there is definitely a consistent skill-based matchmaking system, which is more or less non-existent in casual. And that kind of returns to my point about the competition increase as well. Is that yes, you may be playing against better teams, or well, are more frequently playing against teams, but at the same time, at least them teams are supposedly going to be equally matched. But it's all about balancing. Or you're maybe playing with like one or two people in ranked. Maybe you're playing solo, maybe you're playing with two people, maybe three, I don't know. And then you run against a team that collectively has the same rank as you, but they're a full five-man team, and you just get your shit pushed in. And, I feel like there needs to be a better precedent upon setting that, and I'll come to that later on, I guess, because that's kind of falling into play with my second topic and whatnot. I guess another big thing about ranked as well is the matchmaking times and how the matchmaking times are way more arduous and longer than casual, and that's a big downside for me personally because I just want to be in the action, get the action done, and then boom, I'm out. This over with. 2 minutes finding a game, 10 minutes, 15 playing, boom, next game we're onwards. Matchmaking times in ranked can honestly vary, to my understanding, to up to 5 minutes, if not more. And supposedly there's a bug, which is kind of a separate topic, but there's supposedly a bug that you can be queuing for 10, 15 minutes, but if you just stay in that queue, you will never find a game. You have to literally back out to research and find a different pool of players to then find a game easier, I guess. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a bit skittish, but I guess overall the biggest thing right now for me and ranked is that I'm mainly a solo player, and I think that's a big reason why people play casual more often is that they're just playing solo and they don't want to have the commitment of, oh, I need to play with a full team to play in this, or I'm going to get my shit pushed in by a full team when playing this. And it kind of comes down to I guess consistency, not just with like solo players and playing against full teams and whether or not there should be a mercenary playlist. There should be mercenary. Don't fake cough. Note to self: don't fake cough. um, yeah, but it's not just about consistency as far as that's concerned. I feel like it's consistency in the whole game and the aspects of the game that are, extremely variable, such as the connections and actually being able to have viable teammates that are communicating and coordinated and willing to work together and listen, because that's a rarity as far as, I guess, Rainbow Six goes. And I mean, I want to point out as well, this is Xbox One opinionated, and not on PC. Maybe it's different on other platforms. I have to assume that it's at least somewhat similar, and there's always going to be variables, but hey, you know what? It is what it is, but I just wish if there was a higher precedent in ranked to maybe making sure these teammates work better and maybe just overall improving the network as well as, like I said, the whole teammate situation. I mean, it is what it is as far as that's concerned. There's a reason, right? There's an honest reason why Beta is still affiliated with ranked games. You go to the matchmaking menu right now. You go in, you see casual. That's fine. You see ranked. Little beta next to it. There's a reason that beta is still there. If that doesn't give the certification of there being a lack of consistency with ranked, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. I guess the biggest point is there's pros and cons with both. After all, it's just the same game, and the differences between them are minor. And anybody that tries to differentiate between the two are just, you're only going to get so far before you hit a wall, and you're going to be like, there is literally no difference between the gameplay. There just isn't. It's the same objectives. It's the same operators. It's the same weapons, the same gadgets and abilities. There's no fucking difference. The only differences in ranked are there's more rounds required to win the game, but then there's obviously less individual round time. You can choose the spawn and the objectives locations, and you're more likely to get a skill-based competitive match based on the skill-based matchmaking. And that's fucking it. There is no fucking other difference. Literally no other difference. It's the same fucking game, and people in the community have the audacity to then go and hate on casual. Oh, like, yo, you're a scrub, you play casual. It's like, what the Because you play ranked with those differences that I just listed, that entitles you more than a casual? Shut the fuck up. Seriously, shut the fuck up. It's triggering me, right? Because this is why I wanted to do this topic, because I've been reading a lot of this shit on Reddit from people that fucking hate on this, and I said that I wasn't going to get triggered to myself on this. I'm getting fucking triggered right now. I'm getting fucking triggered. It fucking pisses me off. It really does piss me off. Because, I mean, it's just a matter of circumstance. People just want to play casual, you know? People just want to play ranked. It's the same fucking game. It doesn't mean one person's better than the other. Shit. Oh, you've got a little rank next to your name and it says you're gold or platinum or silver. And I don't. And that means you're better than me. Suck my dick, you fucking clown. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, moving on. Fucking A. Overall, though, I think the thing that you get, that I've already stated once again, is it's just an uncompetitive environment in ranked, you know? And the environment that casual offers is just chilled. It's relaxed, you know? There's no commitment. It's just that kind of environment as the, you know, it does what it says on the tin. Ranked is ranked. It's more competitive, more extreme. Casual is just like, yo, dude, dude, smoke a blunt and shit, you know? Whatever. It don't even matter. Fucking A. You know, the difference of what playlist you're playing does not mean that you're a more skilled player or less skilled player than the opposing playlist. That's all I'm basically trying to get at. I just wish that there was generally... Having said that, though, about how you can't be judged on what playlist you're playing and so on and so forth, I wish, more than anything, that there was a playlist that you could play in that would determine your greatest skill compared to other players. And it's going to segue in right now. Wait until you see this segue. I might have just spoiled it because I said segue. But, you know, it's a shambles that we still do not have a realism hardcore game mode with drastic changes to the game that differentiate between the caliber of players, because you've applied a realistic rule set to the game's mechanics. And we were promised this a long fucking time ago, and it's going to segue on to my second point, and it's going to be falsehoods or falsified information. And I'm just going to go straight into it because I'm still currently on the topic, basically. And it's basically, you know, this is going to be a rundown of all the empty promises that Ubisoft have said they would do, and then they didn't do it. And I feel like I should have some dramatic music in the background right now and a montage clip or something, but there isn't. So, firstly, segue into it. The empty promise of a hardcore game mode, which I believe was promised around midway 2016 on the forum post, that they were like, we are dedicated to working on a hardcore game mode that we are currently only available to play in custom games, because, you know, everybody's playing custom games these days. Everybody can populate a custom game because, you know, custom games are such a viable opportunity to play this game. I mean, everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. It's amazing. You know, you always see people like, yo, come and play my hardcore realism custom game, sending you a message, or, you know, being friendly, trying to get people in the lobby. Yeah, because that's always happening. Come on. In all honesty, they might as well have not added it. They may as well have not added it. I know it's there, but I've not played it once, and I don't understand the point of having it there. This fucking game mode needs to be applied to a playlist, and this was announced in a forum post by a fucking developer, and They literally said, and I'm maybe paraphrasing right now, and I tried looking for the forum post and I couldn't find it, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, and it's definitely probably still out there. It's just I couldn't find it. But they literally said, we are looking to give the players of Rainbow Six Siege a game mode where it really emphasizes the a realism-based experience in multiplayer, reminiscent of the earlier Rainbow Six games. That went straight out the fucking window. Because we got it in a custom game, but it doesn't fucking exist in multiplayer, so what's the fucking point in having it? Falsehoods. Falsified information. Empty promises. Broken dreams. Busting nuts. Anyway, I'm moving on. I guess the other big falsehood, or falsified information that was released, was game types. We were promised a game type on the year one roadmap, and it never fucking happened. At all. It was mentioned on the roadmap, and I literally do not think it was even officially mentioned ever again. I saw forum posts and community posts and whatnot talking about this. Never to a response of any Ubisoft developer. It just never happened. I don't know why we never got a game type other than bomb or hostage or security area or anything like that. I don't know why. It was slated to be released in the first year. They said it was going to be released on the fucking roadmap, and it just literally never happened. I did some research into this, and I swear to God, I kid you not, I found a forum post that was dated just after the Rainbow Six Invitational, or around the time of the Rainbow Six Invitational. Maybe it happened there and then posted afterwards. But literally, it was an Ubisoft developer saying, we're not going to focus on adding game types to the game. We're planning on adding 50 operators and about 30 maps or something ridiculous. And that, like, if you do the math, that puts the game set up for like 3-4 more years or something like that. I think, or 2 more years. I can't remember. Maybe 2 more years or something like that. I can't fucking remember. But yeah, honestly, that was literally the title of this article. It was like, we're not focusing on game types anymore, which is just a complete fucking joke. It's an actual joke. This game needs more game types to keep the dynamics invigorated and fresh. Without that, you've got a massive flaw. I mean, is it really that difficult for Ubisoft to develop a new game type? I had an idea for a game type a long time ago, and I thought it was pretty good. And, you know, if I could think of that in like a space of a couple of minutes, but Ubisoft can't even think of a game type or spend the time to develop a new game type and put it into the game, like, what hope do we really have? I mean, it's all well and good, yeah? Oh, you got a new map, you got some new operators. But does that really keep the core aspect of the game invigorating? Does it? Because I feel like it does, but not to the extent of a new game type would, you know? Like something really interesting and unique as a game type based around counter-terrorism or something like that. I mean, I feel like it's a no-brainer, but Ubisoft are just like, nah, we can't make money off new game types, so we're going to keep on releasing operators. Yeah, that's that for you. Fantastic. Moving on. I guess this is where I'm kind of like clutching at straws a little bit more, but not so much. This was once again a thing that was promised on the year one roadmap, and it was seasonal based events, and it was basically the promise that there was going to be some kind of seasonal based events, and I don't really know what this would entail, and I don't really want to spend too much time on it, but we definitely got seasonal based content. That was like a second part of the information that was released. It was seasonal based events and content. We definitely got content in the form of skins and charms and everything like that. But I struggle to believe that the seasonal based events were the challenges. They may be, they may not be. When an event is, you know, when you say like an event, to me, I feel like it's an event, it's an experience, not a challenge that you go to the Ubisoft club to do because you're trying to promote your fucking app so that you can get more people on there for whatever reason. It's not like you're earning money off it, like advertisements and stuff on there, whatever. But I just don't perceive it as that. But I guess you could. But to me, an event is like something that happens within the game. And I'm not saying that it would be something that would be well, I'm not saying that it was missed, that we didn't have it, and it was a big deal that it wasn't there. That's why I don't really want to spend too much time on this. But, fuck it. Who knows? Maybe if they did a GTA scheme and around Christmas all the maps had snow, wouldn't that be interesting? I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't. Having snowfall, maybe it'd be like to the extent of, the game and, performance and whatnot, having snowfall. But, so, maybe you don't even need to be snowing. Maybe the whole map can just be covered with snow on the floors. Like, who knows? Like, fuck. It's something. It's an event. Doing a challenge and getting a weapon skin is not an event to me. But maybe that's the way Ubisoft perceived it, so that's why I don't really want to grill them too much about it. But who knows? Fuck knows. Maybe it's Easter. Easter's coming up. Put bunny ears on all the fucking hostages. Boom. LOL. Fun times. Moving on. I guess like another point, which is kind of connected to this one as well, is the whole aspect of the year one season pass community-based events, which I kind of just spoke about right there, which is community-based events, and who knows what that would really detail. It's unclear as far as that's concerned, like I just said. Like, I don't really know what they could do with that. But the biggest part is year one season pass community-based events and tournaments. What fucking tournaments? They don't exist. They, once again, got announced on the year one season pass video that's currently on YouTube. You can go check it out. This is some information I actually did find. Didn't exist. It got mentioned on that video. Never happened. Never fucking happened. Could you imagine? Honestly, could you imagine the aspect of having a concept where you have a team that goes in and, I don't know, they play in like casual, or they play in a special playlist, or they do something like that, and this team gets registered via the in-game application or something, and there's leaderboards, and you can go and check these leaderboards and see how well your team is doing, and oh, your team's on here, and you're this close on the top, and you got to work your way up this leaderboard, and you've got to get the best win-loss ratio, and the team with the best win-loss ratio gets like a unique special skin. No, that didn't happen, because the season pass got ripped the fuck off. I mean, what I'm basing this idea upon is from the old Call of Duty days, in which they had a... God, I can't remember what the fucking Call of Duty app was called. They had like a special Call of Duty app, similar to like a season pass kind of thing, and you would basically be able to compete in leaderboards that were online just by playing in the game. There was not like any, extra gates that you had to go through or anything like that. It was literally, you would just compete in the game to set like the best win-loss or get the most amount of kills in this game type or this or that, and you'd be in the leaderboard, and then if you finish at the top, you get something for it. Yeah, that was meant to happen in fucking Rainbow Six Siege. Did it happen? Nope. Just once again, another one of these aspects that just got happen. And I mean, I'm just giving my idea on what I perceive tournaments to potentially be. The fact that Ubisoft couldn't even come up with it, they announced it, and then didn't follow through with it. I mean, come on. Be reasonable. It's just, once again, more false promises and broken dreams and shit. A concept such as that would have been such a great addition to the game. Honestly, it would have been phenomenal to have something like that in the game. It would add like a competitive aspect to the game that would be unrivaled, It'd be really cool. That'd be a way that you could judge people upon how skilled they are, rather than being like, oh, you don't play in ranked. You suck. Come on. And bearing in mind, all of these things that I have stated, they have all been at least somewhat announced or promised at some point by Ubisoft development team members, and they just never fucking happened. So honestly, it fucking is what it is. It is what it is. I guess like the biggest thing to take away from that is Ubisoft, in the words of Daniel Cormier, Ubisoft, get your shit together. I'm waiting for you. Stop making false promises and shit. go it, whatever. It is what it is. I mean, I just thought it was a pretty interesting topic, and I guess, like, you know, I just really wanted to run down through it because it's unique in that sense, and it segued from the other topic and whatnot. And you know, it's just a tricky situation, man. Like, I really wanted a new game mode, the hardcore game mode, that is, and I really wanted a new game type other than hostage or whatever, you know. And it just never happened. It just never happened, and it never got spoken about since. It's now a relic lost to the sands of time of Ubisoft's fucking falsehoods and broken promises and just all kinds of shit. It's disappointing. I feel depressed right now. I feel depressed. But on that bombshell, that has been the Sea Situation, episode 2. Yeah, I mean, I think it went pretty well. I didn't have any technical difficulties like I had last time. Gonna be the same time every Monday, even though I was late this Monday by approximately 4 minutes, which isn't too bad. Yeah, that more or less wraps it up. I have been your host, The Krakoon, and my links are there below the videos. Check me out on Twitter. How about that? Find out when the stream's going live and whatnot, so on and so forth. Check it out on YouTube if you want to watch it back again. And then also follow me on Twitch. I've been your host, The Krakoon. This has been the Sea Situation, and I'm out! Peace!